Whoops. That's what I get for trying to touch the camera at the last minute. Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing? Um, yeah, when I have the whole thing muted, it shows the last thing I had the camera aimed at, which was the ceiling. And so I thought it was still aiming at the ceiling. And so I went to go aim it down really quick, and it wasn't aiming at the ceiling. And then it was aiming in wrong places. So, yes, that was completely an accident, I promise. Um, Welcome, everybody. You're stuck with me tonight. My illustrious co host had a thing come up. So it's just me. Oh, no. Um, well, yes, I'm always properly covered. Um, I behave that way. So welcome everybody. How hopefully it's not quite as hot where you are as it is here. It's not super hot. It's just really humid. So yeah, let's get this thing going. So welcome to the podcast. Um, for those of you who don't know me, I think we might have a new person or two. I am Meg, also known as DeadWomanWalking. Been gaming a while. Uh, Started with games a long time ago and have kind of evolved into what we're doing now, which would be Dune Awakening. Spent a long time in the beta, spending way too many hours waiting for servers to come back up and then being ridiculous. But now we've got the game live and we've got a little bit of news and things to talk about. Uh, Hopefully, some good stuff. If you haven't already got your drops, you should be earning time towards those with the podcast, in theory. Um, so I guess since I don't have a co-host, you're stuck with me, and I'm going to run at my own pace. Yeah, that's still a little uncomfortably warm, especially where you are. There is an ad starting in a moment, so I guess I can hold off on the PowerPoint until after the ad break. That way, everybody can stick around. I know not everybody wants to sub, so ads are kind of out of my control. Sorry about that. It's just a thing. Um, let's see. I got 30 seconds to talk, and then we got about 3 minutes of ad, and then when we come back, we'll jump right in with the latest news. I've got the patch notes that for some people disappeared. I've got information about the building contest and drops, and then just some fun community stuff. And we'll see how long it um, takes us to finish. We got time. We got all night. So, ooh, 31's not nice. Okay, ads. Here they come. So, um, I have no idea how we're doing on that sort of thing, but I have, yeah, I've got some stuff. The buttons are going to be interesting tonight because I can only preset. At least I only know how to preset one extra side screen thingy. So it's right now my PowerPoint, but sorry, there's also a web page that I want to show. So that might be some button pushing that has to happen. But oh no, buttons. But yes, Prestoy, that's your karma um, for for bragging about not being overheated when the rest of us were dying last week because it was too damn hot last week. Mm. Yeah, when we were sweltering here in England, he was like, "Oh, it's not that hot here in Norway. It's really nice." And then that's what he gets for bragging. I'm trying really hard to not touch my desk because it seemed like every time I looked at my desk, it just made this terrible thump noise. So I'm trying to sit back, but I don't actually need to do stuff. We got a minute left of the ads, and then I can jump in with this PowerPoint. The lovely Stalin. Yeah. I think watching numbers go up and down. I hit my follower goal and then someone unfollowed me and I'm like, oh, that was fast. People come, people go. That's the nature of things, I suppose. It's okay. I know. It happens. It's I know you live in the Arctic Circle. It should not be that hot. But there you are. The ad break is going to end in a moment. Hopefully, there is that. There was a bit of a heat wave in Antarctica, especially for them. Hold on, something. I swear someone pinged me and then it disappeared. I must be losing my mind, which is not uncommon. Anywho, okay, so we are back. I'm going to jump into the PowerPoint. uh, I think buttons because everybody loves it when I push buttons, right? It's... Aha! It worked right, mostly right the first time. Buttons. Okay, this is episode 11. We're in double digits now. Shocking, I know, but yeah, it's been good. It's been good. Um, Hold on, I lost my button. There we go. We've got a quick overview of the tools. Don't forget, Awu Tools is made by our own illustrious Veen, which will show you service status. Dune status, I haven't looked at it, but I'm going to say shows you the same thing. Pick your world, and then you can see your siege. The gaming tools, and of course, down at the bottom is the wiki um, run by Mojo. And I think a bunch of wiki elves are in the chat right now. So, yeah, really hot for that part of the world. So, I know Prestoy is very excited about this one. The building contest going on until July 28th. Um, External only. They're not going to judge your interior decorating, which kind of gives you a little bit of freedom, and then not because I'm good with the placeables. Laughs and elf. Um, it's themed on factions, so no, you're not going to see a whole lot of mixed hardcore tradie stuff, even though you can buy both sets. They're wanting to get an idea of your themed builds for factions. Funny you say that. Hold that thought, because I have something that another creator posted. So yeah, these are the prizes. First prize will be the Lego Ornithopter and the Atreides rifle skin. I want that thopter. I have no aspirations of actually ever seeing one in person because I'm poor, but it's a nice gift. And then the second prize is the tea set, which would also have the banner and the skin. And then the honorable mention is going to be the battle rifle skin. So I think I'm hoping if you put in a genuine effort into um, attempting to build something, I think most people will probably come out of there with the um, battle rifle. We can hope. And this is where I was hoping to show. Um, Hold on. I've got another. This is where I have to kind of get a little tricky with the add screen. I need to show the. Hold on. This website called. Where is it? That's not it. It's being persnickety. Hold on a second. Show me my. Okay, you're just gonna have to deal with my. Hold on. Buttons. I know buttons. This website. Sorry, it's on the wrong side. Pimp my Dune. And this is how I know I would never be a contestant because there are some builds on here that are really amazing. Pimp my Dune. That's if you're looking for inspiration, this came up in one of the discords earlier today about how to build with wedges, and they are a bit complex. You gotta have to plan ahead for wedges, but there's some great builds. Uh, yeah, I'm not winning, but I will submit something just to say I was there, right? I will take comfort in saying I was there. And let me see if I can go back to my PowerPoint. Uh, it's gonna be one of those. Hold on. How does this look? It takes up both my screens when I do that. Okay. Aha. So pimp, pimp your Dune. Um, if you are watching and haven't already, this is the next round of Twitch drops. The window has a little bit of light to it, not a whole lot, but it's nice, right? I like and of course you already have the ceiling bits. Those are also quite nice. I do like that they're giving us lots of drops and stuff early on. I think it's kind of a nice something for those of us who were here at the beginning. A little something something. Speaking of something something, this week's hot fix. I'm curious about the numbering for the nomenclature on this one because this is cracking me up. It's 1.1.15.0 hotfix 2. Now, wouldn't that be dot 2 at the end? I don't know. But some more improved serviceability. This is the goal. I'm hearing scary noises from my kitchen. Uh, there are still some issues. If you're seeing issues, make sure that you're doing bug reports. That's the most important thing. It's frustrating. Uh, we would hope that more of these bugs and things would be fixed. They're not. It's what it is. What it is. Make sure you're doing bug reports. I've seen some interesting exploits today, which definitely are a problem. So if you're seeing, report. The latest news has been kind of quiet from Funcom. Um, they've started the rollout for replacement for the things that were lost on July 7th when they dropped the wonky patch. Um, so yeah, it's been kind of quiet. I think they're getting ready for Gamescom and doing patches, and I think they're just busy working. So it's been kind of quiet from them. Hello, how are you today? Um, I know Funcom isn't watching. Hello, but um, some people have been putting in some requests to me, so I'm going to put these here, and hopefully Funcom sees these. But some player requests, some HUD contrast. I asked for this one during beta. It used to be much worse, but HUD contrast, especially when flying, because there's many times a day that you just can't see it because it blends in too easy. It's very fine. Just an option to um, make it bolder or a contrasting color for those of us who have vision problems, or just it's just really hard to see. I mean, if it's very clean, but it makes it really difficult to see what's going on. Better rendering distance in the deep desert, dying to people you can't see, sucks. Um, it sucks bad, and I can't blame people for being upset about it. I saw someone on Reddit saying that were having people they were at a grandfather worm getting the spice, and they couldn't see people on the other side of that ring. The render distance is really bad. So I hope that it's something that they can address and maybe make a little better for playing. I think people who want to PvP want good PvP, and dying by blindness is not a good. It's not. it's not good, and it doesn't feel good, and it feels really unfair. So people are really upset about that. This one came up, and I say this as someone who's got poor combat skills. If What happens when we reach a point in the story arc and our combat skills are not great? And I had this concern as well because I'm a little story spoiler in Act Two. There's some combat, and there was some times where I was like, I'm not sure if I'm gonna die here, and you know I didn't want to die in there because I was overwhelmed. But there's you don't want to be too easy because it's important to the game and the arc and that whole bit. But you also don't want it so hard that those of us who are there for survival games and regular PVE to be overwhelmed. And so trying to maybe put a bug in their ear about what can our options be. Could at some point there be an option for taking in one person with us? I get that it's supposed to be an individual story, but if we're going in there and just can't get past something, um, then yeah, I was at the water shipper mansion and I got stuck because I was dumb, and everybody kept saying go around, and I didn't go around far enough, and so I kept trying to go in at the wrong spot, and man, I died a lot of times. I died a lot of times, because I was going in the wrong spot. So having some kind of secondary plan for those of us, instead of just saying, "Oh well, you're stuck out of the game forever," that would kind of suck. So yeah, um, and the volume of starting your thopter especially is excessively loud. You have your volume set for just flying around, whatever, but whenever you get in that thopter, it is stupidly loud. Um, Managed to get by the glutton and the leader without dying the first time this week. They're tough. They're really, really tough. And I know a lot of people are going on about how the game is too easy and whatever. And it's like, but I think the people on that end are kind of on the extreme end of player types. I think most of us are a little more in the middle, and there's going to be times it's going to be challenging. And so what can we do to accommodate, I guess, for lack of a better term? Is there some PVE is a little easier to balance past than PvP, so maybe that's something that they can look at for us. It would be nice. Um, but yes, the volume is stupid. It's just ridiculous because you're like, okay, everything's good, and you turn it on, and you're like, your ears are bleeding. Excuse me. Um, this comes up a lot, and people are not putting in bug reports when they should. They're putting in support reports, and then they're getting upset when those are auto closed. And I think it's really, really important that people need to understand to put in a bug report when a bug or exploit happens. So people talking about watching, I saw a video someone posted. There was someone just running into the bank in Arakeen today doing that exploit. Report that. What world are you on? What time is it? What seat are you from? Are you seeing any names of people? Reporting everything in great graphic detail is how things get fixed. If you are clipping into things, if it's bug related, put it into the bug report. Support things, I think, are going to be account related. That's where I would lean for support things. My account is messed up. Battle Eye is messing up. Battle Eye is banned me or whatever. Those are going to be those what I would go to account things. Those things should be automatic, but just in case, I give explicit stuff. If there's whatever I'm seeing, whatever I'm doing that causes the bug, can Can I replicate the bug? Is it a graphic glitch? What is going on? Make sure that you give just as much detail as you can, because that's how the bugs get fixed. They have to be able to see it, replicate it, and all that good stuff. Speaking of support calls, someone posted this on Reddit, and I would bug report that. I'd support that. I would chase everybody down who isn't running fast enough to this is a huge problem. And if it means they drop no build zones, then so be it. I think I think myself, I feel really bad. I feel dumb, honestly, because I underestimated the level of greed and assholery that people can bring to the game. I really underestimated how nasty people can be for shits and giggles. I mean, I should remember I was in high school, junior high. I mean, I got bullied. You would think I would remember how nasty people can be. But that is 6 nodes, sorry, that side, that they've blocked. And that's going to block, again, my NA server that we're on, the world that we're on, there's 5 of us. That's 15 fights that we could use to block stuff off, just to be assholes. And that's true for a lot of guilds. And that is just asshole. And I'm reporting that. It's griefing. It's blocking progression in a way that no one else can fight back because it's not a PvP zone. And it's bad enough people blocking the road. That's just some bullshit. But this is a problem. And I think it kicked up when people weren't going into the deep desert to um, to PvP, and they wanted PvP, so we're going to come in here, we're going to start our dominance this way. It's like, this isn't PvP though, this is being a dick. You know, this is just being a dick. Um, I hope they've come up with a solution, whether make it the whole thing a no build zone, or and we were seeing it in the deep desert now, where people are building over nodes. Again, my guild, we went out there and dropped some huts next to nodes to keep other people from building on the nodes, so that the nodes would be available to people without having to be pushed out into the deep desert. And I hope more people step up and do it. It's hard because when the DD resets and things, lots of people are running out there to grab their share, and it's like, but that's not helpful, and it pushes other people into PvP zones that we didn't want. So the whole deep desert PvP thing needs some more love. It needs more attention, and a better plan than what we have right now. But we knew that. This is not news. I want to believe in my starting to get more jaded dark little heart that they have a plan and they will get to it. It's just, if it was an easy fix, it would have been fixed. So, um, so speaking of good community roundup, this picture was taken by ISV Rada, and this was on the official Discord. I thought it was a great picture, and I thought yeah. There's some yeah. Um, there, I no, base rating is not the solution. I think that is, again, PvPers pushing for people to do PvP that don't want it, and I don't think that's the solution at all. I don't think that's the solution at all. Um, Someone posted this one. This is from Mod. They posted it in the official Discord. I thought it was fucking hilarious because we all know who they're talking about. And That NPC, the NPCs for in this game have allure, I think, as some people would say. I mean, Zantara has quite the fan group behind him too. Mm. I think I, um, I think lots of people. Um, yeah, she has a way with players that I think people I think people like her. This I thought was a pretty cool build. This is from Third Eye is Your Brain on Reddit. We haven't seen a whole lot of really good Harkonnen builds, and this one they were so kind as to take the picture during the day, which helps a lot. So I'm excited for the build contest. I think we're going to see lots of um, great builds coming in. This one is from Boo Gamer something, a bunch of letters that didn't make sense to me. On the original Discord, they did a temple. Yeah, I thought that was a really nice pole temple. I thought that was actually a really nice use of chom. I think we don't see a lot of chom, but it's a good mix because it got Atreides and chom one in the back, which does look really nice. Speaking of build contest, this is from Bald Zebra on Twitter, and that is all Harkonnen, and that is fucking awesome. Someone asked for bugs earlier. That's that's pretty awesome. That is a giant spider. There's some baby spiders there on the left. I thought that was pretty cool looking. Yeah, the baby spiders are pretty awesome. Yeah, I will not be winning any awards for my builds. I like whoever's built next to them. They've got the rounded chom buildings, and I think it just looks really great. that's that's something. I don't know if it's all one complex, like little spider eggs off to the side. I think either way, I think it's very clever, and it looks like a productive base that you can actually have stuff in. So I think that one's going to be a hard one to compete with for most of us. That was very very clever. I Yeah, I get the feeling that it's probably all one base. This one was built by or posted by Capellex65 on Reddit. I don't know why it doesn't tell you when I get on. It posted a thing in the refugee Discord, and if you are following, then you should get like an email. Um, I think most of us who have been up on the shield wall know where this one built is. Sorry, Twitch hates most of us, to be fair. Um, I thought it was a really good use of space, and they kept the road open. So it's a very neighborly, friendly type build. Yeah, I think it just hates. I think it hates Nimroth. This one's from Ghostface on Reddit. This one's out in the deep desert. So this was actually a really nice thing for someone to do. And you can't see it really well in this picture, but inside it just says tips. There's a box where you can leave stuff for tips for them leaving gas for you. If you look on Reddit, there was some people have different things in the boxes, so that was quite nice. That's just not everybody who plays this game is a jerk, and I really appreciate that. So to whoever builds things like this, yay! And then there's people who built this. I don't know if you can see it really well, but it says free candy, and there is looks like a titanium or a stravidium node just inside the build there. So yeah, free candy. I was like, mm-hmm. That one's done by Corgan. I found that in the deep desert. He posted that on the refugee Discord. So I thought it was funny, but I'm like, I don't know who's falling for it. If the um, pinch shield is indeed open, then it's okay because they're blocking it open. If it's closed, then that's kind of a jerk thing to do. That's now Pesto's base is full of dead Moedi. That's This one was posted by his initials are JC on Facebook. His real name is on Facebook, so I'm not going to share his name there. But I thought it was a pretty cool Stargate themed build. He's got quite a few more pictures on Facebook. If you follow Dune Awakening on Facebook, you can find this one. So I thought it was pretty cool. And one thing I like about the building pieces that we have now versus kind of what we had in Conan is you can make a fun base like this and it still be very functional. All of your stuff will still fit inside of it, which is always nice because that was one problem with Conan is it was very hard sometimes to fit your workbenches and things in a base that was just kind of small or fun shaped but not functional. So this could very well be a large functional base. In the trading space, this one's Jerry ST from Reddit. I'm pretty sure those of us in the refugee Discord know Jerry. That was a pretty nice build, quite large. Probably not. Probably not. But hey, take what we can get. But that one's a pretty nice extensive build. I'm seeing a lot of builds up on the shield wall, which is kind of cool. Which means this one's like out of the road too. You can tell it's not. It's kind of if you're familiar with the shield wall, you know where this one is. Some art from the original Discord. This is Knight of Sidonia. In the original Discord, there is a fan art thread there. If you are in the Discord, it's well worth looking at. Lots of good posts, lots of great things. With a huge contingent of people keeping the AI stuff out because, well, thou shalt not create a machine in the likeness of man, and only man can be fully creative, right? But there are some amazing artists in there, and this was some of the art that came up. This one is called Walks Without Rhythm. This is by Rakus Pilgrim. Rakus Pilgrim won a copy of, got into the beta. They had done a drive for art, and one of the, uh, God, it was the community nets. So if you won, they gave you entrance into the beta. So Rakus Pilgrim got in the beta that way. I am really most people react very well to it. There's some people who just tooth and nail about how it's not a problem to use. Excuse me, AI art in quotes. My son does my art for me, and it would. He's pretty protective of it, and the idea that someone skimming it or whatever, no, not a good thing. This is from Kelsey Pirate, posted on Reddit. I thought it was a really nice scenic shot. The caption with it was, did not make it. Like, yeah, the storms move pretty fast, and I don't see any cover in that picture. So they probably gave it a good run, but hey, Paolo, I would never tattle on you. Never, never. I thought the tower was pretty good. This is from Moist Cocoa Pops on Reddit. It was a very nice shot. I think that her tattoos look really good. That's a lot of base extenders. Yep, it's Lord of the Rings tower. We need more lights. We need a thing on top. Definitely need a thing on top. But I like how it's big enough. You can kind of get an idea of the scope across the bottom. You can see where the hangar bay is. So it's quite extensive. Uh, Loving the scenic shots that people posted. These are I've seen lots of great builds, but I love it when people post some more intimate shots like this one. This one's from Neil Robert Banks on Reddit. Um, have a good one, Paolo. I think what made me think about these is there's been some pushback, I guess, for lack of a better word, about doll housers. And I'm like, first off, people buying the DLCs and decorations and things keep games afloat. It keeps the games equitable because it's not pay to win. It's people liking to personalize their space. It was a nasty comment about dollhousers versus PvPers. Like, PvP people like to decorate their stuff too, especially in the basin where it's safe. So what's wrong with people wanting to decorate their stuff or having a nice base to work from? I don't see a problem with it. Um, so if you like to decorate stuff, decorate stuff. Do it. I mean, the in-game stuff. We need more. We need more decoration pieces. But I don't see a problem with anybody wanting to decorate their stuff. Just my 2 cents. Dollhousers unite. There was some pieces that we had in the beta that we don't have now, and I'm like, they must be. I'm hoping they come in the DLC or some drops or something. There was some rugs and some prop placements. One of the people I ran with in the beta mentioned the other day we had hookahs that we could play. So I forgot about it because if you look at those white plants, they look a bit like pot plants. They used to be kind of a blue green color, and his room looked like a grow operation. He had all the plants lined up, and we're like, we need the hookahs, and he would be ready to go. So someone playing around with some art. This was Peril off the official Discord. I don't know who did it, but I think it's hilarious. That was a lot of work to do in a PvP zone. Okay, that was. I want to know what world that is. That he's got time to go out there and do spice drawings. I think it's hilarious that people um, have the time and energy. And again, I think most people are here to have a good time and not be jerks about it. And I appreciate. I appreciate them sharing that. I want to believe that the game is not dominated by jerks. Someone posted this on the official Discord. You can't. I don't know if you can see it very well. It looks like a cat. They're doing embroidery on the back of a mod of Shai Hulud. So the cat's going for a ride. You can see some um, ornithopters in the back. This was from Tatanis on the official Discord in the art thread. So again, there's all kinds of people have done 3D art. They've done printing and costumes and just fun stuff. So I thought it was nice for them to share that some personal art that they've done. I want to see it finished too. I will have to pop back in and keep an eye on that Discord for some of these things because that's a lot of work. They showed there's a friend had done the original drawing, and then they're going to do it as embroidery. So I thought it was pretty cool. This is from T Glucose on Reddit. They did it in the Trades Arena. I think it's just great that people are doing these again, these social builds, these fun builds, these you know not being a jerk builds. That would be a fun arena to play in. If I had a big guild, that would be something. Hey, let's put this together out in a PvP area, and but you got to have a world where it's safe, I guess, to do that. There's not a whole lot of space, and like the my NA world is really really quiet. You could probably find a spot there to do it. The EU world, I have my alt on. No, no, they're a little more aggressive. I have a lot of very French neighbors, and I was driving around in the on the shield wall in the buggy, and I hear over the voice thing, nice buggy. And I'm like, yes, please don't, don't. Someone's trying to ram me off off of something. I'm like, this is like not going to hurt my buggy, but it was the thought that counts, right? It was the thought. Another great Atreides build. This one's from Prestoy. I don't know if Prestoy's around. I think he had to go, but this is the build that he's currently working on. He's been very proud of it. He's been putting a lot of work into it. I'm very envious, but again, he's working those. He'll be back. Well, lots of time he missed it. He's working those wedges. It is a very nice. The taxes are going to be exorbitant, and half of it's going to be really dark because we don't have enough lights. But there it is. It's it's a beautiful. It is a beautiful build. It is a beautiful build. It's got a lot going on for it. Once mine for submission is done, I'll share it. Mine's a small build. I put in some extenders just for lights and some horizontal space, but not at this scale. I'm envious that people can build at this scale. I have some Conan builds that are quite large, but they take me like 100 hours, and I'm like, I don't have it right now. This is Vera Lewis from Reddit. So it was another great Atreides build. I have to admit, I really do like the round window pieces that they have for the Atreides set and from the Caladan set. They look really cool. This is from Vonkova on Reddit. I found it hilarious that there's a buggy in the bottom of it to kind of give you an idea of the scale of it. Because why not, right? We're here to have fun. Why not, right? Just work it. Just work it. Normally, dark pictures don't suit this well, but I thought this one turned out so good. This is from X Stalker on Reddit. For those of you who don't know, F6 removes your HUD, um, so you can take some of these beautiful scenic shots. I remember my first big Coriolis storm, and just the lightning is impressive. I think this is probably in the deep desert, but it's I love the lightning effects that they've done for this game. This game is absolutely gorgeous. And when the storm builds up, I know the first hours are hard because the visibility starts going down, but as the storm reaches its peak and the lightning starts, there's just something really fun about it. Something really, really fun about it. This is from Zillion Onyx on Reddit. Another big castle build. They've used a variety of shapes on this one. They really have worked the build system quite hard to get some really amazing looks. I'm envious. I don't have this kind of energy right now. it's, but it looks great. Okay, it does look great, right? Um, the next one is a video, so I'm going to turn my volume down a little bit. I thought it was pretty funny. So this is from Prawn Joe on Reddit. I'm just looking at that sunstroke, man. Om nom nom. This is what happens when you build too close to the worm. So yeah, if you come back and you're wondering why part of your building is gone, double check how close to the edge you are, because the worm will jump up and get you. Yeah, don't build over the sand. You got to be very, very, very careful about where you put your buildings. There's plenty of room in most basins. There's no reason to feel cramped or crowded. This one is from Firebox2 on Reddit. This is a deep desert build. Obviously, it says deep desert, but I think it was hilarious. Um, how they were just like not going to spend the money or the effort on making a larger sub 5. They were just like, nope, not going to do it. Can't make me do it. And that is a very compact base. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. it's, it's got just, Just gonna wedge that wedge it in there. Probably would have to pocket it and then walk out with it. But in a pinch, I guess if I fits, I sits. That is a very snug fit. Um, this one is from Barrel Dives and Splits from Reddit, and I yeah, I'll let y'all watch this one. That was close. That was real close. Yeah, they got the still suit. They got the still suit. Back in the day when it came in black. But yeah, that was close. I can't imagine. um, that was uncomfortably close. You just know someone was just like all the swears because that was that close. Yeah, no, you would have to change. I would have to change my clothes after that one. I'd be like, no, no. So, yes, my PowerPoint is done. Hold on a second. People are pinging me. All right, they can wait. Um, yeah, still suit was working overtime. Well, that's why I think that's why Zentera warned you. You know, make sure your everything is hooked up properly because otherwise you're going to be, you know, sucking poop. He knows he knows he knows where the poop comes from because the getting very close. It's a little dangerous, a little bit dangerous. Well, my son's pinging me. Make sure everything is okay. Okay, yeah, everything's good. Um, yeah, that's. I'm missing my co-host because then we could just chat for an hour. Uh, Still working on lore, and so I guess speaking of lore, here's don't cross the tubes. The question about lore, when for those of you who have finished, I'm trying to be very vague to not spoil things for people who have not finished. When we start talking lore, the one question that we had is kind of how much to start with, how much to kind of gently ease into things. Do we start with the first spice dream and then into the trials? Because you have to go to the first spice dream comes before the trials. If you finished, you know kind of how those things sort of link. So there's and then all of the contacts and the contracts around the map where people tell you stuff on radios and then you start getting the the conspiracy theory guy who's pointing with the lines and stuff. Um, so that's part of the delay for the lore. We had an idea and then we realized it was a lot bigger than what was going to take us an hour or two to do. Excuse me. And yeah, and now someone needs to talk so I can like have some talking back and forth because I want to be here for a little bit longer before we call it. But I know this one's going to be shorter than usual with the co-host being out. Stuff happens, right? I'm hoping. So we have Gamescom coming up next month. I know Iggy and I want to say it was Storm said they're going to Gamescom, but I don't believe that they will have a booth there like last year. I think they're just going to kind of be there as wander around things with maybe I think Level Infinite might have something. I don't know. But I don't believe they'll be having because I know from what they've told us as creators that they'll be there, but they're not doing a thing this year. Um, so that's coming up. But as soon as that's kind of wrapped, Iggy has made noises about coming back on to chat with us, and then I still need to chase some other popular people if I'm coming right now. With summer, they just came off of a big launch. Everybody's taking their holidays and taking a minute, so I'm going to chase. I'm going to chase Iggy. I'm going to try and chase Jeff again. I'm going to try and chase Joel, who said he would come on, but the man is very hard to catch. Um, Question was asked. The AMA mentioned that with the Lands Rod, we'll get unique items to help filter and stop the instant wins on some servers. I I hope that this happens very soon. I think one frustrating thing is people assume that I am that not I am that people are duping if they're winning very very quickly. Um, some that might be, but I think there's also some guilds that just run really hard. We talked about this last time when the back when they first showed the bingo board and we talked about Croniel's um, guild being up on there. He runs really hard. They run to the wall every time. They're just very intense players. So there will be groups that are playing that intensely. I don't think everybody who wins is cheating. I think though that um, there needs to be some balance between the go kill 500 of these guys and turn in 2,000 copper bikes. There's got to. I think that the bingo board needs some love. The question, Tubble, is there some items that have no other purpose? So if they make it so you have to earn it at time, those items are useless until you have them ready to. Yeah, and see that's thing like people doing treasure hunting. They're coming in with the manifests and the opals, and they're just banking them until it comes up, and it's a difficult thing to find a balance for because again, you want to make the lands rod attainable for uh, casual players. Um, One guy should be able to participate, but small guilds shouldn't be dominating every time. Um, Bigger guilds should have, and there needs to be maybe a cooldown for the turn ins per guild. I don't know how to make that math work, but maybe a turn in so a cooldown so you can only turn in so much at a time to allow other guilds an opportunity to maybe grab something else on the board. The I worry about duping, watching the prices for things go up and down like a yo-yo. I know there's the Solari problem today that I saw people posting, which and then there was some really really cheap um, melange and spice sand also available. People were showing some of those things, so I don't know how much that's duping and how much of that's just people playing around with the market and trying to mess with people. I don't know. I know, they have ways of saying, if you have a guild that's consistently doing well, then they're probably doing well. If you have four guys who suddenly come up with, all the stuff, they're probably duping. But it can be difficult to track. Do they need to fix it? Yes. It needs to be more equitable. It needs to be more balanced, for lack of a better term. But like my NA world has been very very quiet. There's like 2 weeks where like there was no activity on the board to speak of. Like it's Saturday and like three blocks are picked. It's dead on my NA world. It's starting to pick up though, but not. I know some worlds apparently. Presto, you're too late. Some worlds, and we saw this sometimes in the beta. Uh, if people had stuff hoarded, it was very very easy to turn in and complete a thing very very quickly, especially if you had because at that time we were gathering spice in the basin as well, and that allowed us to bribe if you that's what you wanted. But I didn't do bribing because I would have to go around and find everybody, and I did not care that much. I don't care that much. I think another thing people were asking for, and I think it's a terrible idea, is to be able to um, betray your faction more than once because they want to be on the winning side. And I'm like, that's antithetical to the lore, though. The Baron's not taking you back if you betray him. It's just not going to happen. And swapping sides to just try and get a bonus in manufacturing is not. No, it's survival games to me are about resource management and making choices about how you play and how you align. And Dune is very much about the politics. And yeah, my understanding. So the question was asked: Are there just any open-ended item hand-ins? From what I understand, they just made a change so that like I could turn it in and um, I get the benefit even if the that spot is closed. But the just being able to turn stuff in for your faction, uh, use your voice chat in your world and trying to find them. I don't know how that would happen. They're still working on how to make the inter guild communication happen. Swapping shots should be allowed, but with huge delays because over time people lose interest. You might have made friends in a different faction. You can still align with them. I mean, you could just add people to your sub fives and that sort of thing. But again, it's the core of Dune is political, and no one's going to be swapping back and forth. Not, like I said, the Baron's not going to take you back if you've betrayed him. Uh, that's. I think when the third faction is announced and opened up, I don't think it will work like the Atreides Harco thing. I think it'll have a different dynamic because it's not part of the Landsrod but can influence the Landsrod. So I think it won't be. I think it'll be something different. We'll just have to wait and see. It's right now the Landsrod is very confusing. I think for a lot of people because it feels very aimless and yeah. Lore wise, the Baron wouldn't accept a traitor. Yeah, and that's the thing is, I mean, I don't lore wise, they're not going. It's not going to happen. So they have to make some concessions for gameplay, but I think by making it so that you can buy the cosmetics outright will help slow down people swapping sides. And I mean, the game's been out 6 weeks. I think for those of us who are in beta, we've got a bajillion hours and we're getting a little bored, a little burned out. But I think for people who are just starting, if they're already burned out after 6 weeks of play, then I don't know what to tell you. I mean, put the game aside, put your goodies in the bank, and come back in a month. I mean, the next DLC drops in October. We still have the um, Act 3 is coming at some point, hopefully very soon. There's they've already said expansions are going to be free, so there's going to be some tweaks and updates. They're working on getting the Deep Desert stuff fixed. They're working on getting the Landsrod stuff fixed, and you're having to spend way too much damn time squishing cheaters. So I want to believe more content will come and more cleanup around the Deep Desert. So around the PvP balancing as such as you can balance PvP and more clarity on the Landsrod. This came up in conversations today. How are people supposed to get 600 kills in a week? You take a team. You take a team. Um, because if they're doing it like you can the lab, so like if you're going to go take out Anna Hiller, everyone loves Anna Hiller. Um, for a long time, if two of us went in and had Anna Hiller, you'd have to run it twice because the person with the contract had to finish the contract. But now, if you are in a team, then all of you get credit. So I'm hoping that that works for the same if you have a team for the NPCs in a week. So, I mean, once you reach a certain point, you're taking contracts going to take out sandflies anyway, and you're going to take out a lot of sandflies. Just saying. Taking a team into the Sentinel will get you, a lot of goodies and a lot of sandflies. I could be wrong. But I know that they've told us for the contracts like Ina Hiller that it would work. I'm hoping it works the same way. Um, yes. So bugs and exploits need to be fixed first. Uh, but I think this is where people in the official Discord and Reddit and Steam things are getting really, really upset. And I get you paid money for a game and you want to play the game. I respect that. But they're going on about how the game is unplayable. I'm like, the game boots, so one is playable, and your the figurative you is angry and upset that you can't do this one thing because bugs. And I respect that. You want to go progress in this direction, and it's right now that is blocked. But there are other aspects of the game that you could figurative you could be doing by saying that you can't. Well, a lot of people are saying, "Well, I finished the game otherwise." I'm like, first off, did you? And second of all, if you did actually finish everything, did you pay attention to it? And life, a brand new game that's only been out for 6 weeks. There's, you're gonna have to be patient. Bug fixes will come, more content will come. You just gotta be patient. I've barely played since the game launched. In 6 weeks, I've got like 150 hours because I played so hard during the beta. I'm like, I don't want to say I'm burned out, but I'm taking my time. And I think a lot of people went new game like we did with the beta. It's games like crack. Let's just admit the game's addictive, and you dream about the sands. But we need to be patient with the bug fixes. I want them to get that stuff fixed. The vehicles are concerned. People are losing vehicles, and it's expensive, and it's hours of time lost, and it doesn't feel good to lose 15 hours of game time in 20 seconds. Those are those are painful. I get it. And I wish I had words of wisdom. Trying to help a phone do the tarot quest and an update. I wonder, because I would be willing. I could have sworn they told us for those that as long as you are in a team, not running together, but in an actual team, a four-man team, that it would work. If it's not working, I would bug report it because there should be a benefit to being in a team. That's kind of the point. Um, First outing with the brand new assault had a load error and returned after validated load in, and the stuff was invisible. Yeah, that sounds awful. There's still a lot of errors that are causing those problems, and it's one of the reasons I've been slow going to the deep desert because people are losing a lot of vehicles. They did. I haven't paid attention. I'm sorry. The quests. I thought they did say if a person could claim if you're having problems, just bug report it. At this point, just bug report everything. Bug report. Yeah, killing points should go for the team because otherwise, I mean, waiting for NPCs to respawn, especially the more difficult ones, would suck. And I mean, we're survival gamers. We don't mind some grind, but there's a limit to how much pain we'll all put up with, and having to come back in there and do it 3 times would be ugh. Going into the um, any of the Sandfly bases going into the Sentinel back to back to back. No. There was an NPC early on Draught that is a contract for Draught, and it was so hard to find him because people were killing him back to back to back to back, and you'd have to wait for him to respawn and hope no one else got him before you got there. Um, Same thing with Ina Hiller. You'd have to wait, and circle back and do that lab again because everyone loves the lab number 10. Everybody's favorite eco station. Um, so I could have swore they had changed it to make it easier so you wouldn't have to grind it so many times because it's not nice. The power station does respawn quite quickly. I came, you fight your way in to go do uh, the paranoid, and then when you come out, they're already respawning. It's like, no, it's like I just barely made it in here. I just barely made it, out in one piece, and yeah, I don't want to die horribly trying to escape. That's like an insult. Yeah, I think Ina Hiller just there. It's funny when you have a game that's only been out for 6 weeks and there's certain characters. It's Ina Hiller. We all know Derek. So Draught was the guy during the beta, and Skorda. Excuse me. We all go find them. It's like that's why we can't find the Fremen. We can't find these guys either. It's just the respawn labs. I believe they have been tweaking around quite a bit. I know that they retweaked the respawns to a randomizer for the deep desert for um, the chests and ores and things to try and make it a little harder for people to camp them in the hopes that it would be people would have a chance to get in there. There would be a random chance that you could actually find stuff. I You can jump camp the purple chest rooms. I really get frustrated with campers in general because it's just like, what is in there that you need an infinite number of stuff from? I mean, well, I need the laser gun. Okay, so you have one. Go away. Go away. This is, as long as they don't leave, if they're staying in the room, I don't know how those work. I know, to get in, there was the blood doors. I think it's location based. As long as you don't leave, um, then it's good. I mean, if you leave, then you're hosed. But I think as long as you're staying in the space, you're okay. But they're adjusting the timers to try and find something a little more equitable. But just people camping in general, I don't get it. I know when we were this time last year in the official Discord, people were coming in and were asking about PvP and base raids, and we were like, this is not. This isn't Rust. If you're looking for that kind of gameplay, you're probably going to be disappointed. I mean, that's not the type of PvP they're aiming for. It's not their intended goal for PvP. To discourage the campers. Not having loot drops and things like that. You would think it would discourage some. No, they're they're not there for the loot. They're just there to make everyone else's life miserable. That's how they get their jollies. Instance labs, I think we would have problems, the same problems we have with the instanced story stuff. It's the game struggles with instances. I mean, if you've waited for Siege or like the water shippers, there's it's difficult. It's difficult to manage, and uh, it's gotta. I don't have a solution. I understand people are wanting instance labs, But it also, especially for PvPable labs, it would remove that. I mean, they can layer villages. You mean the hubs? Hold on. Whoops. It scrolled. Ah, stop scrolling. They can layer villages. The hubs, I forget what the cap is on the hubs, but once it reaches a cap, then it will instance to a second one, but it's not always instanced. And it's on its own server. That's one of the reasons that the overland map is so important because it connects the servers like a giant hub of itself on its own, and it is intentionally separated out that way, partially to make it harder for bots to hit the bank and the exchange because they have to. It's a when you go from the like from the Haga Basin to the hub, it's a separate service. You're going to the overland to a server and then to the hub, which is another server. And you're going to the other hub, which is another server. So it's meant to keep things. It's meant to kind of keep the bots from messing things up so much. We during the beta for those two events that I hosted, we got I think like 35 in one once. Um, I think as people were wanting RP spaces, and I'm like that was your RP space as much as it is for contacts. And people were like, "No, I want my own private siege because there's no place to RP." There are, you're just not using them. Um, the point of the overland map. The point of the overland is to connect other things through a separate server. If I've dropped a bot on a world and I'm trying to farm stuff or do whatever and to get it to deposit things into the bank or the exchange, it would have to go to another server or two depending on how you're getting there, which is complex, and it makes it difficult for the bots to do their thing to muck with the economy. It's not impossible, it just makes it more difficult. And also the overland allows them to add new stuff like the if you've played into Act Two, those spots are places they can add, and there's two DLC that are location bound that will probably have spots there that on the overland, and they said in the AMA, um, the with the AMA they're looking at adding another place on the map where you could get T6 materials without having to go into the deep desert. So that's going to be another entire map entirely that would also be accessible via the overland. So it allows them to easily add things. If you played Conan, one of the problems with the map is they couldn't to you couldn't add, there's a whole chunk of the map that was blank, and that was a problem with Unreal. So you can only add so much on the basin map, and by moving things across the overland and using that as a traversal hub, it makes it easier for them to add new things as they grow. Um, the worlds are, so the question was asked, merging. I don't think they have any plans to merge anytime soon. Um, some worlds might be a little lower pop than others, but keeping in mind that even though some of them feel quite empty, worlds, they're still averaging 40,000 people playing at any given moment. Some worlds are just going to be more active. And that's just, I mean, if you have some, if you're wanting if you're wanting a busier thing, I mean, they might someday have world transfers, but I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon. So I don't know what the plan is. I would think the game's only been out 6 weeks. And I think people are pausing playing with some of the errors and issues that are coming up. People are pretty upset about the loss of materials from the Deep Desert patch last week, was it? And there's still concerns about vehicle loss. Like we just said, people are losing thopters, and that's expensive. So some people are waiting, and some people it's summertime, they're traveling, it's the holidays with their families, and people are waiting for more stories. Um, I would not hold my breath for server transfers, and the reason I wouldn't hold my breath is they promised us those for Conan years ago. They implemented it for it felt like no time, and then they turned it off. They couldn't get it to work properly. It would definitely potentially skew and mess up a an economy. Um, so the DLC that we have currently are two spaces that will be planet side. One's the North Pole, and I forget what the other one is. Um, I know Jeff had said and Joel had said in the future there could be new planets. But do keep in mind that the core of the game is a survival game set on the most difficult planet in the universe. So I don't expect a whole lot of we're not gonna move there. There'll be story stuff, but I don't think it'll be something that they'll be sticking around and building and interacting a lot there because it would we would be losing that survival aspect of because the mechanics for the game currently the survival bits are dehydration, which you're not going to have if you go to visit Caladan, uh, that kind of thing. So I don't know what those planets will look like, but there might be there could be some trips. No, mom is not melting today. The level cap moved around a couple of times during beta. There, it would make sense that if they bring in another faction or other trainers, there's room for growth. Um, that's a good question. I haven't seen or heard anything official about that. Just my own personal speculation that the level cap could increase and that there could be more options for things down the road. So someone said polar regions for smugglers, South Desert perhaps rebuild Carthage could be in the future for Fremen, perhaps a big siege. Um, we said it last time. Winsack will probably be if Winsack shows up. We've been teased with it over and over and over and over. And my personal guess for the next faction will be smugglers. A lot of NPC talk about smugglers, and Winsack would make it uh, an ideal spot um, for us to do Winsack. That's my personal speculation. If uh, Joel or Jeff is sitting back, it's just me making guesses. I don't have the omniscient one here with me, so it's just me guessing. Um, I don't know. I mean, knowing what we know about Carthage in game, I don't know. I don't know. People, the problem with changing core mechanics, someone like uh, not freezing to death on places is you have to change. You'd have to add a whole lot of mechanic stuff in the background for stuff that would change things. I don't know. I don't think there'll be a huge survival. There might be contracts that take us there. There might be a few bouncy things or hubs, but I don't think that we'll have a whole lot of survival stuff on other planets. There's so much talk of smugglers. I mean, and things going around. We talk to the different vendors in Harco Village and Arakeen. It's just like they know stuff. They're totally knowing stuff. And Joel's sitting back there dropping all these hints at us, and he's just being mean. He's just absolutely being mean. Well, yeah, yeah. In game says all the slaves and resources are going to Neo Carthage. I don't think it's they're going to be. I don't think they're going to turn Harco into Neo Carthage. I think they're building next to it because Harco Village. If you talk to one of the vendors talks about how old the Harco village is, and what's under it. And if you know lore, you know who that is. um, I've got my guesses because they talk about him a bit too. Um, yeah, we've done talked about Elara and her proclivities for calling us things rare. I also find it interesting. So she keeps calling you kitten. Um, the s- kind of symbol thing for House Carino is the lion, and Zentera calls himself Zentera the lion. So it's just like she just likes to mess with you. Joel likes to mess with us, and it's not nice. It's not nice how badly they are messing with us. It's cruel. They're mean. They're mean to us. Stop being mean to us, Joel, and give us Act Three. I know you're not watching, but I can put the manifestation out into into the universe. Joel gives us Act Three sooner than later. So Dad imported kittens. It was Lay's cats or something. Um, Joel and Jeff are next level. They are. I think they sit back in their morning meetings with their espresso and cackle at us. I think it's putting the cream cheese on the bagel in the staff room, going, ah, can't wait till they find that part. There's pretty sure, uh, pretty sure they do that to us because they're mean that way. We love them, but they're cruel. It's like this Stockholm syndrome. It's absolutely Stockholm syndrome with them. Um, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Like I said, I'm waiting to go deep into the lore because I'm not ready yet. I wanted to be deep. I wanted to be ready. The video editing and kind of trying to grab again. You start looking like the conspiracy theory guy when you're like, how do I put this stuff together? Because if you've played it and you start getting those hints, and we've played it a couple of times. Um, there's been many times when Bean and I have been talking about putting the podcast together that's the extent of our messages for the day. Is just Joel. You know, there's you think I should re-show Prestoy's builds. Give me a moment and I'll see if I can find Prestoy's builds. Let me dig up the PowerPoint. Jerry's. I'm half blind. I can't see. Look. Uh, Vesuvius. Art dude in the sand. I know you keep sending me new stuff, and Jerry's. There's the Facebook one. There's the gas station. Dang it! Where did it go? Okay, there's the 3 videos. X Stalker. There's Mario. There we go. Give me 1 second, and I will show Presto's build. Uh, Ad scene, media, screen. Where is PowerPoint? Allow. There it is. Presto's build. By request. But yeah, there's a whole lot of fu Jeff. I will save the pictures for the next run. I'm hoping I've already got a schedule trying to hold myself accountable to something. I'm hoping to be more regular and definitely be back next week. Um, Prestoy is a monster, is what he's saying. He's an absolute monster. He's that guy. He's absolutely that guy. Mm-mm-mm. What are we gonna do with you? I think it would make more sense if when an NPC says I need some time to analyze this, it actually takes some time. It seems like whenever I try to go to a trainer and they say I need more time and I try to click them again, they're just like go away. I there was stuff I couldn't finish in the beta because they were like go away. They just stopped talking to me. I don't know, they bugged out or something. Um, um, Still working on lore. We're gonna have it. It's coming. It's just Derek. Um, Hefe popped in last um, stream and had pointed out that Derek is probably the most hated NPC, followed closely by Skorda. Um, yeah, yeah. We can at least find Skorda. You know, we can at least find Skorda. Um, but yeah, still working on lore. As news comes out, we will be sharing that. The build contest. Make sure you build and submit your themed build pieces. You don't have to decorate, but because they won't be um, looking at the inside. Derek is a pain to find, but I don't mind him. His arc is impressive, and so is his light. He's got a unique light. No one else has a light like he does. And if you stop to think about the light that's over his head, why does he have that light? Why? Why does Derek need that light? Well, I use decorations outside too. I totally use decorations outside, but I'm saying you don't have to decorate the inside. It's external only, so um, you don't have to worry about how it looks on the inside or anything like that. So if you're going to do builds contest, do that. Get it submitted because he's old. And he has no night vision. Um, do If you love the podcast, make sure you share the podcast so we have more people here to chat and share nerd stuff with. Um, you can find me in my Discord, which is !Discord. If you're on Twitch, you'll see the link. Trying to think what else for next week. It's all good, I think. Am I missing anything? Uh, yep, there's the Discord. Um, you can find us there. We're pretty low key. We're pretty chill. Um, if you have ideas or things that you would like to see in the podcast, that would be a great place to drop those suggestions and hints and talks and things like that. Uh, and if you're wanting to play on the North American server, we have. Can you talk in it without a mobile phone? Um, I don't use my phone to chat in on Discord, so I guess. I mean, I use a PC for everything. I'm kind of attached to the hip for my PC. Um, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and this is a good time to wrap it up. I hope most everybody got some progress on their drops. And I will catch everybody same bat time, same bat channel next week. Um, and I hope everybody has a cooler weekend. It's been brutal. Stay warm, stay warm, stay hydrated, so you're not too warm. And I will catch everybody later. So bye.